Hello students! For today's English tutorial, we are going to learn about the usage of mood and imagery in modern English. These literary conventions are almost present in every single piece of writing and poetry to ever exist. So without further ado, let's get started. But before we get started, let's discover the purpose of both devices. The mood refers to the audience's feeling towards the subject of writing and creates a feeling for the reader to hear throughout the whole work. On the other hand, imagery is a sensory perception created by the author's words, meaning it creates images in your head using the 5 senses. Now, the mood is a prevailing tone or general attitude the writer gives. Other great words for it would be ambiance, atmosphere, climate, tone, or feeling. Usually in cinema, the mood is always settled with music to fit the emotions of the scene. Since writers obviously can't use music in their books, it has to be established with a careful word choice from the very first sentences of the writing. Its 3 main aspects are the setting of the story, the word choice, and obviously imagery, which we will talk about later on. All 3 of these are key to creating the perfect mood. Take the setting, for example. It was 8 minutes past midnight when Johnny took a look at his watch. Weak moonlight pierced through the smoky-covered sky onto the cold gravestones. Take a second and think about how the setting changed the mood. If you guessed dark, suspenseful, scary, or anything along those lines, you are definitely correct. Now, take a look at this scene. Susie lay down on the warm, sandy ground as the sun was setting on the horizon. The sound of light ocean waves and the feeling of the bright orange sun on her skin was what she needed. How has this setting changed the mood? If you guessed either calm, relaxing, or joyful, you're on the right path. The word choice has also a lot of impact on the mood. Watch this scene. The glowy, majestic lion roamed his territory, proudly looking upon his entourage of creatures. Look at the words, but then look at this one. The starving lion gazed at his savanna, hungrily looking around for his next weak victim. How come both previous scenes are the same, though they have a different mood? How has the word choice changed it? Both set of words bring a different feeling to the scene, so it's important that when trying to explain the mood to the reader, you need to be very specific when choosing the vocabulary. As crazy as it sounds, one word can change everything. As previously mentioned, imagery is a figure of speech which uses the reader's 5 senses to create an image in his head. Whether it's with sight, smell, hearing, taste, or touch, the goal here is to bring the story to the reader's imagination. For example, Mary ran downstairs to see what was cooking in the kitchen. The aroma of fresh basil and a golden grilling crust in the oven filled the room. How have the images changed the mood? And most importantly, what is the main type of imagery used? If you guessed smell and sight, you are correct. As Drew prepared himself for the penalty kick, all his mind could focus on were the loud roars and jeers of the crowd. His palms were clenched so hard he could feel the cold sweat on them. In this scene, how have the images changed the mood, and what type of imagery was used? If you guessed hearing and touch, you are correct. To briefly summarize it up, you now know that there are 3 main aspects to the mood, which are crucial to the writing of a story. You now also know that imagery is a figure of speech, just like a metaphor, which appeals to the 5 senses. All of these elements give the reader a place to start while reading and comprehending a piece of work. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have learned how to be a pro at establishing moods and images in a story. For a quick reminder, if ever you are stuck in class and forget the key compounds, refer to your quick sheet and hopefully you can get back to work in no time. Till then, see you next time.